beautiful legacy. Every line, every curve leaves a trace of who we were.
Hello and welcome to Beautiful Legacy. I'm your host, Theo Pinto. This month, we are examining the supermarket not as abundance, but as architecture, as a system that shapes behavior long before it sells a product. If last week we explored personality-driven curation, today we move to its structural opposite. No storytelling, no theater, no charm. Only discipline. This is the story of Theo Albrecht and how he helped invent the modern discount supermarket. Not by adding value through narrative, but by extracting cost through design. Post-war Germany was not fertile ground for indulgence. It was a landscape defined by rebuilding. In Essen, the Albrecht family grocery operated on fragile margins. Theo Albrecht understood something fundamental. Sentiment does not scale, structure does. Together with his brother, he developed what became Aldi, Albrecht Discount. The insight was precise. Fewer products, lower overhead, faster turnover, relentless cost control. Instead of offering thousands of options, Aldi carried a radically limited assortment. Instead of relying on national brands, it prioritized private labels. Instead of designing inviting interiors, it designed efficient containers for goods. This was not aesthetic minimalism, it was economic minimalism. And it turned scarcity into an advantage.
Beautiful legacy. Every line, every curve leaves a trace of who we were.
Traditional supermarkets optimize for stimulation, lighting, displays, promotional theater. Theo Albrecht optimized for throughput. Products often remained in shipping cartons. Shelving was basic, layouts were standardized, decoration was eliminated. Every operational step was scrutinized. Why stock multiple near-identical SKUs? Why pay for packaging that does not reduce cost? Why build ambience that does not improve margin? The result was a store stripped to essentials. Customers entered, selected, paid, and left. Decision-making was simplified. Labor was minimized. Negotiation power increased. The supermarket became less of a marketplace and more of an engineered system, a machine designed for velocity, and velocity became profitability. One of Theo Albrecht's most consequential moves was elevating private label from secondary option to strategic core. By controlling product development, sourcing, and branding internally, Aldi inverted traditional power structures. Manufacturers no longer dictated value. The retailer did. Packaging was restraint, often generic, always functional. But consistency replaced spectacle. Consumers began to associate reliability, not with external brands, but with the store itself. Trust migrated from product logos to operational performance. This shift would later redefine European retail. From hard discounters to mainstream chains, expanding own brand portfolios, the template was clear. Private label was no longer imitation, it was sovereignty.
Beautiful legacy. Every line, every curve leaves a trace of who we were.
Theo Albrecht's personality mirrored his system. He avoided publicity. He refused excess. He maintained extreme discretion. Even after his kidnapping in 1971, he returned to work with intensified privacy. Internally, all these standards were uncompromising. Cost discipline was absolute. Quality controls were strict. Expansion was calculated. There was no appetite for unnecessary experimentation. Consistency was strategy. The store format did not drift. The assortment remained tight. The margins remained protected. In a culture rebuilding through pragmatism, this rigidity was not limitation. It was the key to stability.
Beautiful legacy. Every line, every curve leaves a trace of who.
If the curated supermarket builds emotional intimacy, the discount supermarket builds economic trust. One seduces, the other reassures. One tells stories, the other proves arithmetic. Theo Albrecht recognized that consumers do not always seek inspiration. Often, they seek relief. Relief from inflated prices, relief from unnecessary choice, relief from complexity. By designing a supermarket that removed cognitive overload and reduced price anxiety, he changed expectations. Discount was no longer compromise. It became rational preference, and rational preference scales.
Beautiful legacy. Every line, every curve leaves a trace of who we were.
Today, discount logic permeates the entire industry. Private labels dominate European shelves. Assortments are increasingly rationalized. Operational efficiency is a strategic priority. Even premium retailers adopt elements of the model: tighter editing, stronger own brand identity, supply chain optimization, and transparent pricing. Digital retail echoes the same principles: reduced friction, curated selections, and cost transparency. What began as a post-war pragmatism became structural doctrine. Theo Albrecht demonstrated that subtraction can be more transformative than addition, that power does not require ornament, that loyalty can be engineered. He did not design a supermarket to be admired. He designed one to endure.
Beautiful legacy. Every line, every curve leaves a trace of who.
Theo Albrecht did not redesign the supermarket itself. He redefined its center of gravity. He shifted power away from spectacle and towards structure. away from persuasion and toward price integrity, away from abundance and toward efficiency as discipline. The discount supermarket was not born from my aesthetic ambition. It was born from operational clarity, and in that clarity, a new kind of authority emerged. Less choice, less decoration, less narrative. More control, more speed, more trust. Theo Albrecht proved that subtraction, when systematized, becomes strength. That retail does not need to be louder to be influential. It needs to be coherent. And in doing so, he transformed discount from compromise into conviction. And that, truly, is a beautiful legacy.
Beautiful legacy. Every line, every curve leaves a trace of who we were.
You've been listening to Beautiful Legacy. Throughout March, How the World Eats explores the designers and the thinkers who shaped not just how we consume, but how we recognize, trust, and experience food in everyday life. From corporate packaging systems to culinary revolutions, from brand architecture to sensory identity, we will examine the invisible structures behind appetite. In the coming episodes, we will move from the shelf to the kitchen, from identity systems to gastronomy itself. Follow the show and join me every Tuesday and Thursday. Until then, keep noticing the beauty people leave behind.
Beautiful legacy. Every line, every curve leaves a trace of who we were. In the shape of a chair, in the light on a wall, someone's dream still stands tall. But